As a writer, it's funny, I have a friendship with you and with Alan Shamblin.
Yeah.
And you two guys wrote this song that has just, I know where I was the first time I heard it.
Really?
It was on a Bonnie Raitt cassette in my car.
Huh.
I Can't Make You Love Me.
We wrote that for months as an
No way.
up-tempo bluegrass song. I can't make you love me if you don't.
Wow. Maybe Alan's told me that, but that was out of my brain.
Well, Skaggs was having hits, and we thought this would be perfect for Skaggs. And I don't believe in the song gods, but if they're out there, they said no, because we could only get those two lines. I can't make you love me if you don't. Can't make your heart feel something. Nothing else would come. So you know what that is. You go off and you work on something else.
Yes.
And one day I took my kids, they were little bitties at the time, to school, and came back, and that whole verse and that music just kind of fell out. I mean, Lionel, I didn't sit down and say, yes, I think of this chord progression. Well, what about this? No, you know what is a keyboard player? You just sit down and you improvise.
Yes.
Haydn did that, Yes.
Haydn,
when he composed, the first thing he would do is he would teach a student, then he would have breakfast, then he would sit and improvise till he heard something he liked, So I thought that's Joseph Haydn. That technique's pretty good, so let's go with that. So I fell in love back then. It was right around the time when, I don't know if you had this experience of falling deeply in love with taking my hands and being able to make some sound come out of a keyboard.
Totally. I know exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when that happens, then anytime there's a piano, I have a hard time not going to it.
Mm-hmm.
Just to, right? So it was a lot of that. At first, I called Alan and said, Alan, you better come over here. This idea we had, maybe this will work, blah, blah, blah. Again, it was the mess in the middle, right? You mentioned the mess,
Yeah.
No, it doesn't come out of whole cloth. I've read stories of Brahms screaming at orchestras to stop playing what he had written. He hated it so much,
Wow.
Yeah, so it's all, the whole thing is, some Mozart, Benjamin Britten, probably Stravinsky, some of those guys were, they heard it and down it went. Most everyone else, it's just you're pushing off the dock into the fog.
Yeah.
And maybe you find something. So Alan came over, and I think now he has a different memory. He thought we finished. I thought we took a couple of days to write that second verse. We figured out where we were going. And again, I would defer to, I'd had a song on the Nick of Time album, Bonnie's breakout album.
I remember that song.
Too Soon to Tell,
Yeah.
it's called. So I had Bonnie's address. And Alan and I remember sitting there. We didn't think of anyone in Nashville.
Wow. I get it.
Yeah.
No, I get it.
Not allowed.
Chord progression.
No.
Yeah.
No one. So I said to Alan, Bette Midler, Ronstadt, or Bonnie. Mm-hmm. So we'll go with Bonnie first. And she didn't jump up and down and say,
Really?
I have to have the no. We were living in another house down in the basement, and Susie came down and said, you're going to get a call. Don't screen it. Pick that up. And it was Bonnie, and we talked about it. She said, I'd have one slot for a ballad, and I'm thinking of this other song, and I won't mention the song because it's a truly great song.
Wow.
And I thought, she's going to cut that other song because it's one of my favorite. It's a
Really?
Michael Smotherman song.
Oh, yeah. Love his writing.
Yeah, you can't say enough about that guy.
Yeah.
She said, just let me live with it. I said, oh, yeah, I guess I can do that. I guess I'll let you live with it. How long do I have? I don't know, 20 years? Try 20 years. She did then call back maybe a week, 10 days later saying, yeah, I'm going to cut this.
Huh.
So it was
That's quick.
Pretty quick for that, but I mean, it wasn't like, oh, I have to have this.
I see.
And I've had a lot of Nashville artists that I know that are friends, and I won't say who,
Sure.
say, write me, and I can't make you love me, as if you can, if I could. And I never have the guts enough to say to them, if I do, you won't cut it. If I do, you'll pass on it.
Yes.
Right?
I think that's absolutely true.
Yeah, so
I get it.
It's just Lionel, look, if somebody is a songwriter watching us saying, Mike, tell us how you wrote I Can't Make it just doesn't work that way.
Right.
You stumble
yes.
onto something And when it's Mike doing the writing, all I do is get in my own way.